The Velkari Armada stretched across the darkness of space like a metallic constellation, 300 warships strong. Each vessel bristled with weapons that had conquered 17 star systems. Their commander, High Admiral Zekthar, stood upon the bridge of his flagship, mandibles clicking with satisfaction as Earth grew larger in the viewscreen. "Primitive world," he hissed to his tactical officer. "Their transmissions reek of division and chaos. They will surrender within cycles." But Zekthar had made a fatal miscalculation. He had studied human history, their wars, their conflicts, their seemingly endless capacity for self-destruction. What he failed to understand was what happened when humanity faced an external threat. On Earth, in the hastily established United Defense Command Center beneath Geneva, Olivia Chen stood before a holographic display of the approaching Armada. Her dark eyes tracked each vessel with the precision of someone who had spent 15 years in military intelligence. Around her, representatives from every nation sat in tense silence. "They're holding formation at the outer marker," she reported, her voice steady despite the weight of 8 billion lives resting on her shoulders. "No response to our communications." Logan Mitchell, head of Earth's diplomatic corps, stepped beside her. His weathered face bore the stress of 72 hours without sleep. "Then we moved to Protocol Omega?" Olivia met his gaze. They had known each other since the academy, had weathered countless political storms together. Now they faced humanity's final test. "Not yet," she said quietly. "We give them one more chance." Logan nodded and activated the quantum transmitter. His message would reach the Velkari flagship in seconds. "To the approaching fleet, this is Earth. We have detected your armada and understand your intentions. We are offering you one final opportunity to depart peacefully. If you continue your approach, we will consider it an act of war. Please respond within 1 hour." Aboard the flagship, Zekthar's translator crackled with laughter among his officers. "They beg for mercy already," one crowed, but Zekthar raised a claw for silence. Something in the human's tone troubled him. There was no fear, no desperation, only cold certainty. "Continue approach," he ordered, though less confidently than before. "Deploy scouts to assess their defensive capabilities." The hour passed in suffocating silence. Olivia watched the countdown timer reach 0, watched the alien armada continue its inexorable advance. She closed her eyes for a brief moment, thinking of her daughter safely evacuated to the Southern Hemisphere shelters. "Logan," she said softly. He placed a hand on her shoulder. "I know." She opened a secure channel to the 4 corners of Earth, to the hidden bases in Antarctica, the submarine platforms beneath the Pacific, the mountain installations in the Himalayas, and the orbital defense grid that humanity had built in secret over 3 decades. "All stations. This is Chen. Authorization Omega 77. Weapons free." What happened next would be etched into galactic history forever. The Velkari scouts suddenly detected energy signatures blooming across Earth's surface and orbital space. Before Zekthar could process the readings, the void erupted with violence. Humanity had learned hard lessons from centuries of warfare. They had studied every invasion in their bloody history, every strategic mistake, every tactical victory. And they had prepared. Railguns accelerated tungsten projectiles to relativistic speeds. Directed energy weapons powered by fusion reactors that made the aliens' technology look primitive, lanced through shields that had withstood planetary bombardments. Missile swarms, each warhead equipped with AI targeting systems that could outthink Velkari countermeasures, swarmed the Armada like angry hornets. But the true horror, from the aliens' perspective, was the cyber warfare. Human hackers, the same ones who had spent decades breaking each other's systems, found Velkari networks laughably vulnerable. Ships turned on each other. Life support systems failed. Navigation computers went dark. On the flagship bridge, chaos reigned. Zekthar watched in horror as his mighty armada disintegrated before his eyes. 40 ships gone in the first minute, 70 after 5. The humans weren't just defending themselves, they were systematically dismantling 3 centuries of Velkari military supremacy. "Retreat," he screamed. "Full retreat!" But it was too late for most. The human weapons tracked fleeing vessels with ruthless efficiency. They weren't just fighting to survive, they were sending a message to the galaxy. In the command center, Olivia monitored the battle with grim satisfaction. Not satisfaction at the killing, she took no joy in that, but at the confirmation that humanity's desperate gamble had worked. The 30 years of secret preparation, the unified global effort, the sacrifices made to build this defense network. 60% of enemy fleet destroyed, an officer reported. Remaining vessels are breaking formation and fleeing at maximum speed. Logan exhaled slowly. Do we pursue? Olivia shook her head. Let them run. Let them tell others what happened here. She opened a final transmission to the fleeing Velkari ships. We gave you fair warning. We offered peace. You chose war. Now carry this message to whatever corner of the galaxy will listen. Earth is not defenseless. Humanity is not prey. We are not conquerors, but we will not be conquered. Leave us in peace, and we will leave you in peace. Threaten us again. She paused, letting the wreckage of the Velkari Armada speak for itself. And we will remind you why humans survived when countless species on our world did not. We are survivors. We are warriors. We are united. And we are done being victims. The transmission ended. Around the command center, exhausted personnel began to cheer, to cry, to embrace one another. Nations that had been on the brink of war 24 hours ago now celebrated together. Logan turned to Olivia, seeing tears streaming down her face even as she smiled. We did it, he whispered. We did, she confirmed. Humanity faced the dark and we didn't blink. Across the galaxy, the Velkari survivors spread word of the battle, of the primitive world that had shattered an armada, of the species that had given fair warning before unleashing hell. And slowly, carefully, other species began to take notice. The humans of Earth, once isolated and unknown, had announced themselves to the cosmos, not with exploration or diplomacy, but with a simple message. We offered peace. You chose war. You chose poorly. Earth would face other challenges in the centuries to come, but none would forget the day humanity gave an invasion force one final warning, and proved they had meant every word. The end.